Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan Magin here with another awesome interview. It's not muscle building, as you can see. We're not really going to be learning muscle building advice from Megan from Style Girlfriend, but like I said, I'm interviewing more fashion and fashion experts now because I believe everybody should be interested and dress well and look the part. So today I have Megan. She has an awesome website called stylegirlfriend.com, and she's been featured on magazines such as GQ, Esquire, and countless others. She's been featured on every popular style blogger's blog across the internet, so definitely check out her stuff or click the link below this video, and I'm sure you can find all of her cool stuff there. But welcome to the call, Megan. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Yeah, thank you. What a great introduction. I feel that.
Yeah, I like to make people feel special when I bring them on at first. But yeah, to get started, I don't like to do the typical, who are you, what do you do? But just for my readers, they're like, oh, Ryan's a big muscle building guy, and now he's talking to an attractive female. What do we, why are we
What's
listening to
going
you? Yeah.
on?
So how did you get your start? Like, why? I mean, at first you're a girl that gives men's fashion advice. So kind of, how did that become a thing?
Yeah, I wish that I could say I did, some big competitive analysis of the landscape and found that a female voice was missing, but I really just fell ass backwards into it. I'm a writer, and a friend of mine was starting a men's clothing business, and he said, will you write a column for the site, something every week? And I said, well, I don't know too much about men's fashion. And he said, well, just write about what you like to see guys wearing. And that was like a big light bulb moment for me that I have lots of opinions on that. I'm sure every woman does. Like a woman knows when, a guy shows up for a first date if she likes what he's wearing or if she doesn't, or if, a guy comes in for an interview, she likes what he's wearing or she doesn't. I think that's a pretty instant reaction. What I did was I really just started to talk about, I love it when guys wear X, Y, or Z. And I never say, oh, but I hate it when guys wear, A, B, or C, because I feel like there's no that's not a positive way of looking at it. I think it's much more helpful, much more productive, much more supportive to just sort of be that cheerleader for guys like yourself that are really looking to up their style game and kind of trying to learn more about personal style and how to dress well. So I want to just like be there clapping for them in the background, being like, you can do it.
Awesome. And one thing for those listening that I really like about Megan's site, stylegirlfriend.com, is that she takes like she'll look at a celebrity's outfit from like a red carpet event and then kind of break it down into, shit that normal people can afford. Because I don't even know, I don't even see how celebrities even like to buy the stuff that they dress them in. Because I would never pay $3,000 for a jacket. It's just not happening in why? Like, so I really like that. And you're one of the only sites that I've found that does anything remotely similar to that, which I think is really cool.
I feel like that's crazy, right? For me, like I still shop at stores at the mall. I shop at Gap. I shop at Banana Republic. I shop at J. Crew. So yeah, when I'm on a style website and they're only saying, well, here you can buy this Gucci or this, YSL, it's like, well, I can't afford that. So why would I be talking about that stuff? It's not about aspirational dressing. It's about dressing for the real world and dressing for your budget. So
Exactly.
if you're shopping at the mall, then great. I have ideas for you. So yeah, I definitely see it that way.
And like I said, that was just the coolest. Like, because I found Antonio's site, and I've interviewed him before, and I found like Aaron Marino and Antonio. For me, like I'm more like I have like an edgier. I have a full arm of tattoos, so I like the kind of the rough, like, bad boy look. So like I really liked Antonio, but I'm like, God, he's real kind of stuffy. So I was like, and then I found Aaron. He was a little more my style, but I found your stuff. It's like, and it was very like casual, and like that was the kind of vibe that I got from your site, which that you're not. Yeah, you want to look like guys to look up, but it's more like a well put together casual look, and that I was like, that seems like speaks to me a little bit better than always wearing a suit jacket, even though I wear a lot of them now. But I just really like that about your writing style and your what you portray through your site.
Thank
So
you.
that's
Yeah,
it.
certainly there's guys out there that do have to wear a suit for work every day, but there's plenty that don't. I think more and more there's guys that are, sort of in this like casual business wear, landscape where they're like, okay, so do I wear khakis today or do I wear jeans? And it can get confusing. So having more ideas about what to wear in that, like you said, that sort of business casual look,
Mhm.
I think that can be really helpful. So I'm always on the lookout for style inspiration just in my own life. So I figure that guys can, probably use the same type of help.
Yeah, definitely, and now that and it's kind of I tell people like I have a lot of friends. Once you start getting into style, I don't know. If I'm sure this happens to you and people that know that you have that blog. They always ask like, well, how do you dress better? It's like, or why. And for me, it was like, I was like, I didn't really know why or the benefits of dressing well until I actually started doing it. And then it was like, I mean, at the time I was single and I was like, girls were approaching me. I was like, holy crap, I don't have to talk to them. They just say, oh, you look nice tonight. It's like that. And then like, I would have like bartenders serve me first because like I was in like a suit jacket, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, and until that happens to you, you have no idea. Like, you're just like, you think things are normal and like that's just how it's supposed to be. So,
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. And I think, if your readers are really into fitness, I think that the equivalent, is kind of, it is this when you look good, you feel good kind of correlation. And I think that, when you first hit the gym, maybe you feel a little awkward about it and you feel a little like, oh, everybody here knows how to do this better than me and I'm not as strong as I want to be. And I think it's the same thing with growing your personal style. It's, you're starting to flex your style muscles and it can feel really awkward and you can feel like you're doing it all wrong and you can feel like you're just like messing up every day, but you get better. And as you get better, you start to notice those changes. You notice the women noticing you. You notice the bartender serving you first. You notice, people holding the door open for you. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
like, it's that big aha moment of like, oh, like this actually makes a difference, And I think that a lot of guys sort of just opt out of caring about style altogether because they either feel overwhelmed by it and they don't know where to start, or they just, they feel like, well, that's just not for me. But yeah, once you actually start making an effort, I think it pays in dividends.
Yeah, and I totally. I mean, a funny story. I actually got upgraded to a suite in Vegas because I was told I looked like a celebrity when I checked in, and I was like, well, thank you. Here, and here's a little tip. Thanks for the nice room.
That's great. And same thing. I mean, I tell my readers all the time, like, dress up to go to the airport. You never know if, there might be a seat in first class and you look like you belong in it.
Yep, and it's so true. And like I said, I never knew that I wouldn't call them problems, but these opportunities existed until I started dressing better and just taking more account of my action. Well, to kind of move into the next transition here, how do you tell guys that are kind of maybe a hot mess? Like, they're just like, no, they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, where do you tell them to start? Like, how do you, for your readers, like, where would you tell like a guy who is in shape, looks good, but is wearing t-shirts and cargo shorts? Like, where does he start?
I mean, I think you always have to start with your closet. You need to know what you have and you need to know what you need. And I think when people have just an overstuffed closet with things that they haven't worn in like 3 years, but they're still sitting right on their shelf, like, that's not, you're going to feel cluttered and you're going to feel like, well, I don't know what to wear and I don't have anything to wear, but my closet is full and that's confusing. So I think you really have to start like pulling things out of your closet. And it might mean having, a wife or a girlfriend or a friend or your mom, like, sit there with you and be like, that fits you, that doesn't, that you can take to the tailor and make it fit you. You just start to separate things out. And then when you're done, you have a pile that's going to Goodwill, you have a pile that you're taking to the tailor, you have a pile that's like going in the trash. And then that's when you can really say, okay, wow, so it looks like I'm good on jeans, but it looks like I need some dress pants. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I haven't bought a new suit in 10 years and I should probably get one that fits me, because you never know when somebody's going to get married or die or have a job interview. Like, there's those things, there's those essentials that every guy needs in his closet. And until you have, only the stuff that fits you in your closet, you don't really know what you're missing.
Yeah. And what do you, you mentioned the magic word tailor. I think a lot of people are afraid of, like, I know getting stuff tailored was eye-opening for me. It was like, I joke about it, but I have this little Asian lady who I swear feels me up every time I go in there. And it's always like awkward. I'm always like, but I always come back and the shirt fits perfect. I'm like, this is amazing. And I think people are scared. Like, I live in Florida, so obviously things are cheap. Where are you living at? Like, is it?
I'm in New York.
I assume it's a little more expensive to get things tailored in New York than it is here in Tampa.
You know what? It's not, and I think it's because there's so many of them. It's like there's a tailor on every block and a nail salon, so it's both those things are actually probably cheaper in New York than they are anywhere else. And even in a place where tailoring might be more expensive, it's still not that expensive. And I think that's what, to your point, I think a lot of people are like, don't think it's worth the hassle or don't think it's worth the money, but paying $10 to have, like, your pants hemmed up a half an inch, that it helps, it really makes the difference between something looking only okay and looking really great. And the thing is that once you have things tailored, they look more expensive than they really were. Mm-hmm. And that's like something that you can't really, I think it's hard to conceptualize that until you actually do it. But like, you will look like $1 million if you have a suit tailored, taken in here, whatever, like let out here, whatever it is, and it makes such a difference.
And like I discovered that too. I mean, especially like because when I started this, I mean, I didn't have a lot of extra, we'll call it capital or resources. I didn't have a lot of extra money to be like,
Sure.
okay. I mean, obviously, I love Hugo Boss suits, but I mean, they're even at reasonable. It's $500 for a jacket, three hundred
Yep.
dollars for a pair of pants, and I'm like, well, that's a little more than I can spend. So I was going to H&M and just getting H&M stuff tailored. And yeah, it may not last as long, but it's like, man, you feel really good when you put that stuff on. It's just, and that's what it's hard for, I think, people to get over that initial hump. I mean,
Yeah.
so what do you recommend guys get like with tailoring? What do you recommend? Like, what are the common items you tell people to get tailored?
Everything. Honestly, like everything in your closet will look better if you get it tailored. Like I have, readers that I know that have their polo shirts taken in a little bit. If you get a polo shirt and it's too wide here and then you get it taken in just a little bit and it's suddenly fits you better, or in the sleeve and then it shows off your muscles a little more, it doesn't have to be tight, 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 but there shouldn't be much of a gap.
Mm.
So I really think that almost everything in your closet, if you don't love how it fits you, take it to a tailor and ask them what they can do. The worst they can say is no, we can't do anything with that. But best case scenario is like $5, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
that pair of jeans that you never wear, or that dress shirt that really billows. Like all of a sudden that's something new in your closet. And to your point about not necessarily having a big budget for shopping, that's shop your own closet. Like take those things that you don't get rid of them because you're like, well, they're still good, and but I just don't love them. Like take those things to the tailor and see if you can't actually make that be an item that you love.
Mm.
You already own it, so
Yeah.
it's just putting in this much more money rather than going out and buying an entirely new shirt or a new pair of jeans, whatever it is.
And most people that are on my list, I'm hoping they all work out and they have like a V taper, and to get your dress shirts tapered to where they don't have the male
The
muffin
billow,
topper.
yeah, like
Oh, it's a great feeling. Like, and I tell people that, but they still don't listen. I'm just like, oh, like even my friends.
I mean, the crazy thing is like even slim cut dress shirts these days, like there's still a ton of, extra there, and there's a ton of extra material here. So, have that taken in, have, darts put in the back, whatever it is to make it be fit to your body. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Because if you're wearing that stuff every day, like if you work in a corporate office where you have to be wearing dress shirts, why wouldn't you want to have something that you felt really confident in and like felt really handsome wearing?
I totally agree. So how do you bring out like I mean, do you do like personal like consultations and stuff in New York? I mean, some people do that, but I don't know if you just do more write for magazines or like.
I don't do anything one-on-one right now. I've thought about it. Like I think it's a really interesting idea, and I definitely think there's a lot of guys who, if they're not like embarrassed to ask for help, then they could use
Yeah.
that help. But it's not something I do right now. I find that so many guys have the same issue that talking about it on Style Girlfriend, I generally, I can
Yeah.
reach more people with
Yeah.
that help.
Because it's cool because like I see style as it's kind of like an artistic expression of like yourself, and I see a lot. I mean, as you get into style, you start seeing different style bloggers and how they dress, and then like I mean, I'll sit on Pinterest for like an hour just like looking at outfits, but and I tell people like I mean, because I never like I was always scared of dressing up because I'm like, man, I always wanted to have like kind of that edgy, like I'm an entrepreneur, I don't like corporate, so like, but I want to look good, but I don't want to sell out. So it's like it's cool to see people, and you can look at somebody and like kind of bring that out of them. Like I have a friend that I helped him dress better. He works in like a Wall Street type environment, like it's just a stock, stocks and bonds and things like that. So he's always wearing a suit like all day, and he's like, dude, when I go out, the last thing I want to wear is a suit. He's like, I was like, dude, let's get you some boots and some jeans.
Yeah.
He's like, let's like let's make you freaking rough. Like you need. I was like, mess up your hair a little bit. You're way too clean cut. And he did. He was so uncomfortable, and he went out. Like he got so much positive attention. And
Yeah.
so I was just curious. Like, I mean, if you like look for that in people, like if you did that with people, as far as like that ask you for help, like do you see like pull out their characters and
Yeah,
see
I
what you
mean, I
can do there?
certainly have friends that, you know, we'll go out and I'll be like, "Oh, we should get you new shoes." Like, so I think I take it upon myself sometimes. But other than that, I definitely have readers send me emails saying, I've been reading your site for 6 months. I just bought my first bow tie, or whatever it is, and saying, "Oh, I really feel like I'm coming out of my shell," discovering what my style is. And I think that that's like the biggest thing for guys is, yeah, they don't, they don't necessarily know what they like and they don't know what they don't like until they start getting into it. I mean, it's great that you're on Pinterest being like, oh, like I like that leather jacket, or, oh, I don't like how that looks. I think as with anything, you just have to kind of immerse yourself in it. And it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be super intense, but it's just, start to notice as you're walking down the street, be like, oh, I like how that guy's dressed. And then think about why. Like, think about what those elements are in his outfit, and think about, oh, well, do I have anything like that at home? Could I put together an outfit like that? It's just sort of like starting to get those wheels turning.
And that's true. And as you get more into fashion, you start noticing other people. And as sad as it is, when you go out, it's not, you're kind of the minority when you're dressing well. Because there's maybe in a night out, if I go out my hometown, I may see 5 people out of 1,000 that I'm gonna see around that look like they even like didn't just buy a dress shirt, wear it untucked, and just walk out the door. I'd be like, I'm dressed up. Let's go to the club
with his box toe shoes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what do you think are like staples that every guy should own, like to get started in, like staple pieces? Like what would you start people at?
I mean, I certainly think every guy needs a navy or a gray suit in his closet. Even a guy who's like, well, I'm a developer and I never dress up, like whatever it is. Again, you're going to go to a wedding, you're going to go to a funeral, you're going to go, on some kind of interview where you're going to need a suit, and the last thing you want is to like have to buy a suit and then wear it that day. Like, it's not a good position to find yourself in. So just have that standby ready in your closet. And then, there's, like you said, it's staples. It's a really great pair of dark rinse, straight cut or slim cut jeans. It's a clean pair of tennis shoes, and not the ones that you wear to the gym. It's a different pair of tennis shoes, whether it's Chuck Taylors or a nice pair of Nikes, whatever it is. I think a desert boot is like a really great addition to any guy's closet. I think a lot of guys don't know what is sort of like in between dress shoes and sneakers, and that's right in the middle. And it really makes any outfit look that much more put together. I think it's a really easy way to sort of dress up a casual look. I think like a white and maybe a light blue Oxford cotton button down, in a little bit of a thicker material with the button down collar. I think those are always great because you can pair those with, khakis or dress pants, or you can wear them with jeans on the weekends and just roll the sleeves up. So those are really versatile. And then, a couple of sweaters and in a nicer material like a merino wool, something that, you can layer.
Yeah, I just got into that.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And then, you go from there. You start to kind of, like I said, you start to see what works for you. You start to see what colors you like. I think what's something really fun with guys is when they wear, purple for the first time in their life, and like 5 women are like, oh, you look so nice today. And then like, it's like, oh, I should wear more purple. Like, and that's, when people start to think about it, that can kind of inform your wardrobe. So I would never recommend anybody just like go out and like buy a brand new wardrobe in one day. It's like you start to add pieces slowly.
Yeah, I started personally with, I went out, I got a really nice pair of like thick leather boots that were like kind of flopped open, because I've always worn like skinny jeans because I'm a cyclist and that's just what we do. And I was like, wow, like I like the V-neck blazer look, but all my blazers are now tailored, like everything. And I always I never have it like unbuttoned. It's always like, so that's like been my go-to. And like, that's why I tell like people, I'm like, look, I'm telling you, just copy my outfit and then just go out one night.
Here.
Just do it. And then they're like, and then it's like, I love the desert boots. I actually just purchased, like, I think everybody should own a pair of wingtip boots. I don't know what it is about those things, but God, they get compliments and you feel, like you feel great when you wear those things.
And you'll have them forever.
That's totally true. And what's your take over, quality versus like, because like you said, once it comes back to cost, like how do you get guys over that hurdle?
Totally. Well, I definitely think it's about, like I said, buying things one at a time and not going out and feeling like you need to buy an entirely new wardrobe in one shopping trip, because that would break the bank. And I'm all for buying the level of quality that you can afford. If that's, like I said, if that's a Banana Republic merino wool sweater, fantastic. And if that's, something from Barney's and something really, more higher end, then that's great too. But I just think it's about spending what you can afford on clothing. And that's why it does become something where, maybe you create a budget. Maybe like every month you set aside $100. And then, by the third month you can buy a great pair of boots or, a sweater or like an overcoat, whatever it is. I think that every purchase that goes in your closet should be something that you love and you feel really great wearing. So I don't really believe in like being out and being like, oh, like this is okay, or oh, it's on sale. It's not really my color, but
Yep.
it's a good deal. Like that's probably not going to end up finding a lot of use in your wardrobe. So I think it's much better to be intentional with your shopping. Like, okay, here's my list of 5 things I need. Okay, I'm now gonna go out and look for those things.
Cool.
So it just, means that, like I said, the stuff that you have in your wardrobe, you really love it.
Awesome. So you being an attractive female, what's the first thing you notice on guys when you see them out? I always like to hear girls opinion on this and what they see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about the overall look. Like, I always read articles where it's like a woman notices your watch, and I'm like, oh, those women sound terrible. Like, I don't, I don't notice that, like, unless it's like a Mickey Mouse watch or something. But like, I think it's more about the overall look, and I think that that's very much mixed in with confidence. Like, if a guy is like standing with his shoulders back and like looks like he's having a good time, like that's the guy I want to talk to. It's not the guy that's like, adjusting everything he's wearing and like has like his jacket shoulders are out to here and kind of looks like he's, wearing his dad's suit or whatever it is. So I think when you feel comfortable, that really comes across, in, to women and, to anyone that's going to be interacting with you. So I think it's more about the whole look and yeah, I mean, if he's wearing a shawl collar sweater and dark jeans and chukka boots and all of his buddies are in like t-shirts and sweatshirts, then like that's the guy I'm going to notice. So I definitely think it's the guy that's dressed well is like the rarity at the bar. So yeah, I mean, I think women definitely notice that first.
Yeah, and that it's cool. And now, like, I mean, in learning this, I see, like, in talking to other girls, and they say that they're like, I wish more guys dressed like you, or I wish more guys did.
And you're like, I don't.
It's like why don't they? Like, it's so baffling. It was like, and I mean, I kick myself in the ass for waiting so long, and I'm just like, God, why was I so stubborn? Like,
Yeah.
so it's just cool to like,
Different things. It's being stubborn. It's feeling a little scared, feeling a little like embarrassed that you don't know how to, wear something well. So I think there's a ton of reasons that guys don't necessarily get interested in style. But yeah, it just takes that one like time out where you're wearing something and you get, complimented 10 times and then it really gets going from there. So
absolutely. And one last question before I wrap this up. Brown and black shoes. Like, what is your? I always ask because like I've worn both. I've worn black shoes, black belt. I've worn brown belt, but like a brown and black shoe, and I'm like every time I do it, I'm like, like should I do this? So I like now that I've interviewed like everybody, I got everybody's opinion on. I'm like, if anybody questions, like, oh, you have a brown belt with black shoes, it's like, well, fuck you. This is what I'm because I am. Like, what is your opinion on that?
I mean, I don't think it's that hard to buy a belt in both brown and black. I think if you have brown dress shoes and black dress shoes, you should have a belt to match each. So I don't think that they should be mixed, but
What about navy blazer with a black shirt? Because I see people. I like the way that looks.
yeah, I love a dark, like I think it's great when the shirt is darker than the suit. I think that's like a very cool, like James Bondy kind of look. I like that a lot.
Cool, I've gotten that question too from people. It's like because I like to wear V-necks. I buy like
Mhm.
packs of 10 and I just wear them underneath like blazers and jackets. And I'm like, I always like the navy with the black, but I've had like a couple of people who are like, you shouldn't be wearing a white shirt. And I'm like, why? Since when does blue and black not go together?
I mean, I
So
certainly don't want to be someone who's ever like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. So, I mean, the black shoes and the, brown belt, like that's kind of just like a given. But yeah, I mean, wear what you feel good in. And if you feel like you look good and people are looking at you, approvingly, like I think that's, you learn the rules and then you learn that you can break them. I think, it's about
yeah,
kind of getting that foundation and then you can go from there and kind of like make your own choices.
cool. Well, to wrap it up, I just want to say thanks a lot for your time today. I know you're busy in New York City. It's a pretty fast life out there. So, that's,
Well, I'm really glad that we were able to do this. I hope your readers enjoyed it. I mean, I think that as much as, maybe someone who's really into bodybuilding and not into clothes thinks there's like no correlation, I definitely think there is. Like I said, when you look good, you feel good. And I think that if you got a fit body, like show it off, like let people know and,
yeah.
dress the part. So if you care about your body, then you should care about how you look.
Awesome. And for those listening that just hopped on or heard the end of it, this is Megan Collins. It's Collins, right? Megan Collins.
Yes.
From StyleGirlfriend.com. She's been featured on a ton of men's style magazines, and she's a one of the only ones that gives a girl perspective of men's style. So it's really cool to be able to get her on here. And I thank you again for hopping on.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Hang on one second for it.